So I'm at a dinner party, and someone asks me what I've been up to lately, and I say, "Oh, just collecting documents for Aliyah." Simple enough answer, right? But then my friend Sarah goes, "Documents? Like a few forms?" And I just start laughing. A few forms. That's like saying the Amazon rainforest has a few trees. I try to explain that making Aliyah isn't just about deciding to move to Israel. It's about becoming a professional document collector. Like, I've gone from being a normal person with a normal job to someone whose full-time occupation is apparently international paperwork acquisition specialist. I have spreadsheets now. Spreadsheets, color-coded ones that track document expiry dates and apostille status. When did my life become a project management course? The thing is, every conversation about Aliyah starts the same way. "Oh, that's exciting. When are you moving?" And I have to explain that I'm not actually moving anywhere until I can prove, with international governmental validation, that I exist, that I've existed legally for my entire life, and that every major life event I've ever experienced has been properly documented by at least 2 different bureaucratic institutions. It starts innocently enough. Birth certificate. Makes sense. Prove you were born. Then it escalates. Marriage certificate. Fair enough. Prove you're married. Then divorce certificate if you were previously married, because apparently Israel needs your complete romantic CV. Then police clearance because they want to know you're not a criminal mastermind disguised as a suburban accountant. Then your parents' birth certificates, because apparently your existence needs corroborating witnesses. But here's where it gets mental. Every single one of these documents needs something called an apostille. An apostille. I'd never heard this word in my life 6 months ago, and now I can't escape it. It's like learning a new language where every sentence ends with "and then get it apostilled." I dream about apostilles. I wake up in cold sweats wondering if I remembered to apostille something. The apostille process itself is bonkers. You take a perfectly valid British document to the Foreign, Commonwealth and Development Office, pay them £30, and they stick a fancy sticker on it that essentially says, "Yes, this British document is definitely British." It's like paying for authentication that water is wet. But apparently, without this magical government sticker, my birth certificate is just a random piece of paper that could have been forged by anyone with access to official-looking letterhead and a decent printer. And the timing. Oh, the timing is everything. Most documents are only valid for 6 months, but they all expire at different times. And getting replacements takes different amounts of time for each one. It's like juggling. But if you drop one ball, you have to start the entire performance over again. I've got calendar reminders set for document expiry dates like they're important birthdays. Remember, police clearance expires Tuesday. Birth certificate good until March. Marriage certificate apostille valid through summer. My wife finds me at 2 a.m., surrounded by paperwork, muttering about validity periods and authentication requirements. "Are you all right?" she asks. I'm trying to calculate whether I should apply for my police clearance now or wait 2 weeks so it doesn't expire before we submit everything else, I tell her. She backs away slowly. The worst part is when people try to be helpful. My neighbor goes, "Oh, I went through this for my visa to Australia. Super easy, just needed a police check and bank statements." And I have to explain that Aliyah isn't just proving you're a good person with money. It's proving your entire life story, in triplicate, with international validation. Then there are the documents you never knew existed. Like, apparently there's something called a single status certificate if you're unmarried. A certificate to prove you're not married. I'm paying money to officially confirm that something hasn't happened to me. It's like buying a receipt for things you didn't purchase. And everyone has horror stories. My cousin went through this process 3 years ago and still has PTSD about the ACRO application. Whatever you do, she tells me, don't start the ACRO form unless you have 3 hours free and every document within arm's reach. I had to restart that thing 4 times because I couldn't remember my exact address from 2019. But the absolute pinnacle of bureaucratic madness is when they ask for proof of your parents' marriage. Not just that you exist, not just that you're legally married or divorced or single, but that your parents were properly married when they had you. I'm sitting there thinking, I'm 42 years old. At what point does my legal existence stop depending on other people's paperwork from the 1970s? So I call my mum. Mum, I need your marriage certificate for my Aliyah application. And she goes, What? Why do they need to know about my marriage? You're the one moving to Israel. And I have to explain that apparently the Israeli government wants to trace my entire family tree back to people who can prove they were legally authorized to create me. My dad finds this hilarious. So they want proof that I was qualified to be your father? And yeah, essentially, they want documentation confirming that my existence was properly authorized by the appropriate governmental bodies. It's like needing a permit for having been born. The really fun part is when you discover that different documents have different apostille requirements. Some need to be originals, some accept certified copies, some need solicitor certification before apostille, and some need to be notarized by specific types of notaries who are registered in particular databases. I've become an expert on the subtle differences between various types of official authentication. There should be a degree program for this. My friend Mike listens to all this and goes, Mate, it sounds like you're applying to join the CIA, not move to a different country. And honestly, I think joining the CIA might be simpler. At least with the CIA, they probably already have all your documents. But the absolute best moment was when I realized I needed to get my children's birth certificates apostilled too. So I'm at the dinner table and I tell my 16-year-old, I need to get your birth certificate authenticated for international use. And he looks at me like I've completely lost my mind. Dad, I'm literally sitting right here. I obviously exist. Why do you need a government stamp to prove I exist? And I realize I have no good answer for that. The whole process has given me a new appreciation for people who live off the grid. Not because I want to avoid society, but because I understand the appeal of never having to prove anything to anyone ever again. Just existing without documentation requirements sounds like pure luxury at this point, but there's something oddly addictive about collecting all these stamps and certificates, like I'm building some sort of international validation portfolio. Look at all these government stamps. Look how thoroughly documented my existence is. I am officially, internationally, apostille certified real. Though I do worry about what happens after we actually make Aliyah. Will I go through withdrawal? Will I find myself randomly apostilling documents just for the satisfaction of it? Yes, I'd like this grocery receipt authenticated for international use, please. You never know when you might need proof that you bought milk. The whole experience has taught me that making Aliyah isn't just about moving to Israel. It's about becoming the most thoroughly documented human being in history. I'm not just emigrating. I'm emigrating with a paper trail that proves every significant moment of my life has been properly witnessed, stamped, and internationally validated. And honestly, after 6 months of apostilles and authentications and governmental confirmations, I feel like I've earned the right to live wherever I want. I've proven my existence so thoroughly that I should probably get citizenship anywhere I apply. Here's my internationally certified life portfolio. As you can see, I am definitively, provably, government stamp-approved real. I'll take your best citizenship package, please.